now we've got the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship for this tyre rack battle on the bricks. So, get ready, get set, and at Roger Penske's house, it's appropriate that there's an all Penske Porsche front row. Yes, Matt Campbell won the pole, and Mathieu Jaminet, and there is Roger. Mr. Penske excited to see his cars and his team race here at the Speedway. It's special to be back after almost a decade away, top-tier sports cars racing at the Brickyard. And have a look at Tom Blomqvist tucked in behind those two Porsches, ready to race at Indy. IMSA WeatherTech sports cars away.
Here come those two Porsche Penske machines. It looked like they'd discussed trying to block that inside line. Big move to the outside. That yellow-nosed Cadillac is Sebastian Bourdais. He has a ton of experience there. Campbell locks up. He goes wide. Bourdais is locked into a spin.
Oh boy, we thought this may happen. Not necessarily for Sebastian, but at least one car. They have been slipping and sliding in that section all weekend, and it's happened when it counts most. And look at the LMP2 prototypes pounce. They're taking it to the big boys.
Their tyres come up to temperature a little bit quicker. Look at this, and off for Alexander Sims. He has to take the shortcut route through turns 5 and 6. That's the high-speed chicane. Now comes the GT field to green as well. Split start here.
And that white BMW you see at the front, that's Madison Snow. He and Brian Sellers have a commanding lead in the GTD Championship, and he out-qualified the GTD Pro field. Awesome effort from Madison Snow.
Yeah, looks like he's got the power down early. Gap in that second-place car. That's the leader in GTD Pro. That's Bartlett. You distinguish between the two classes there in GT classes there. The red highlights you see on the side view mirrors, the window banners and everything. That's the Pro class. Green is GTD. That's Chandler Hull off and on in the Macintosh BMW early in the lap.
And damage and parts on the track by the cars that missed Merriman. Broadside on the front straight here at Indy. There were some close calls.
This is really going to pay dividends for teams like the number 10 team who elected to pit that little bit earlier. They've stayed on the lead lap. They should really jump up the order here when some of the other leaders have to hit pit lane when pit lane eventually opens. We also saw a lot of GT cars pit right before the minimum drive time was mandated at 45 minutes. They were just shy of that number, but that was a strategy call we'll dig into a little bit later. But boy, there was some evasive action there, some great moves with some of the drivers coming up on that car stranded in the middle of the road.
There have been some big moments there in that corner over the years. Ralph Schumacher, Oliver Askew. Oh, it's just the worst spot to have a crash here on the Indy Road course. Check this out. On the grass and loses the rear end. Jared Andretti did a great job on the outside, and that's George Kurtz.
Wow, he thought about trying to go back to the left and then thought better of it. Really fast hands there. Just watch there. Right on the flank of the Porsche. Just waits for the Lexus to accelerate and then just finds that gap. Look how tight that was.
Trent Hinman and Aaron Tierlitz just went, what was that?
Beautiful. One of the advantages a lot of these prototype drivers have, they have GT experience.
Here we go. Here we go. The run down to turn 1. Nazar has a run on his old teammate and fellow champion, and Pippo Durrani says not just yet. Defends. Good driving, then locks it up. Does he blow it? Here comes Felipe Nazar for the lead of the race, and Nazar snatches it.
Watch
and
Tandy.
Here comes Dick Tandy too.
Tandy's going to force his way in there. He's going to get elbows out. So Durrani was just in the middle of the road. There's no grip right there. There's a lot of marbles. It's really grey, as we call it. Doesn't have the grip. And he just got defensive there into the brake zone. And that was all set up with that run through traffic 3 or 4 corners back.
With 2 LMP3 prototypes fighting over the same piece of ground through turns 12 and 13. Here it is, Josh Burton in the background, but here's the move.
Again. Bottom line, you see Durrani run into trouble here, middle of the road, locks up the tyres. These cars are really tricky into the brake zones with the brake-by-wire system. And the sister Porsche takes advantage, says, I'm coming through as well.
Bottom box, the live image of the Porsche Penske 963s. Now back at the front, running 1-2. Here it is here, check this out. Watch Nick Tandy. Says, I'll take 1-2.
I think Durrani made the right move here. He had to give it up. He's just going to get elbowed out either way. Potential damage to the race car. And look immediately how those Porsches have gapped. Durrani got another bad run in traffic. And that's created this big gap back to the front.
BMW M Hybrid V8 of Connor D. Filippi for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing is about 7.5 seconds behind Felipe Nasr now in the sole running BMW, because Philip Eng had that myriad of problems at the beginning of the race. 9 laps off the pace. That means there are 9 of the front has aided the number 10 Konica Minolta Acura of Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti, because they were at one stage 83 points down. They're now 33 points down. That helped them big time in their closest battle with the 31 team.
Look at this battle in traffic. Nasr locks up. When you're just offline, you try to fight through the traffic. You know, at the grippy part of the race, almost contact between the two teammates. Tandy's on the attack.
Slicing
just staying in bounds there. Tandy's got to be careful. He's got to keep at least a tyre touching that white line down the back straightaway, Holland Boulevard.
They might be teammates, but they are allowed to race, as you can see. And Tandy desperately wants to get to the front.
His car's come alive. Maybe he's used the tools on board to get that Porsche back into its sweet spot. Fascinating battle. Felipe Nasr has taken him a while to get to grips with his machine. Hasn't been the stunning season that we expected from a past champion, but now he and Matty came on in the championship for the other 3. They may be sealed here today at the checkered flag, providing those championship leaders qualify and see the green flag. Look at this! Battle for the GTD lead. Ellis all over the top of the Lamborghini, runs him out a little bit wide. He is through.
Well, he says, if you're going to get physical with me, Spinelli, I can repay that favor with 3.5 minutes to go. But is that enough time to run away and hide?
And there's Sellers. Sellers is now looking for P2.
And who's in the 6 coming in?
It is. Tandy had to pause.
Race leader overall and in GTP, Nick Tandy was very cautious there. Very clever and careful not to do anything silly with the GTD traffic.
54 car. This is Dakota Dickerson. What a disappointment. This team had a podium run going here today. Damage to the 7. We believe he and Nasr got together. See the right front locked up here. This is going to be important. We see a replay of this. Did the 7 car cause that contact, cause that problem? They cannot afford to lose any points here to stay in the championship hunt going to Petit Le Mans.
And this car is ailing.
Bit of disappointment. That is this young man is a superstar. Dickerson is.
2.5 minutes left in this race. What a shame for the MLT Motorsports entry of Dakota Dickerson. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack.
Well, there's a rule in place. If you elect to change your tyres from qualifying over to a different set, you lose your qualifying points. So recognizing the championship, even though they had a healthy lead, that was really just a strategy play by Bill Riley in the group to ensure they kept those points. Recognize a long 2-hour 40-minute race that you get back in the game, but they're running second right now, and that would spoil their unbeaten record in the regular season where they've gone 4 straight.
Speaking of Riley Motorsports, the 92 and 91 Porsches are the Lexus biggest movers in the GT Daytona class. That's a pretty cool result.
Yeah, Juncadella have had a couple of podiums this year. The 92 car runs in P8. Kai van Berlo, the young Dutchman, he runs in P11.
Whoa, that was close. Between the Gradient Acura, the 7, and this is that incident from earlier. Nasr comes through on Dakota Dickerson, and it wasn't heavy contact, but more specific placement that got that front left wheel. Yeah,
I don't think there'll be any call on that in terms of avoidable contact, but just unfortunately for Dickerson, I think just when you turn and leave, that wheel is exposed, and if it takes the hit in the wrong angle, it'll break one of those toe links immediately.
Final lap coming up, less than 2.5 miles from Britain's Nick Tandy and Frenchman Mathieu Jaminet. They had to work for this one. They're not there just yet. But this one is going to be special. To win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You don't need to say any more. But to do it for the captain, to do it for Roger Penske anywhere is something. But to win when your boss owns the facility is something else. Yeah, we chatted with Nick the other morning, and he admitted that. He knows that the pressure's on. He knows how tenuous the championship is, and they put themselves right back in the game, essentially the top 3 in the championship. If any of those top 3 win the race, there's nothing that anyone else can do, and
in terms of stopping them from taking the title.
They won on the famed streets of Long Beach, California earlier this year, much to their surprise, because it was a pretty crazy race in the end. And Nick Tandy had those eyes wide open and a big smile saying, I can't believe we did it. But they did, to get that win for Porsche Penske Motorsport. So imagine that, just in the season, to get the win at Long Beach and to win here on the Battle of the Bricks, Porsche Penske Motorsport, the Indianapolis 500, and here in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series. 2 wins, 2 memorable wins on the season. The 79 of Danny Juncadella gets the win for WeatherTech Racing in the Mercedes. Here's the 17 of Wayne Boyd, will guide it home for AWA in LMP3 in a really solid drive. And the Winwood Racing Mercedes team are going to do the double. The Michelin Pilot Challenge last night, and here in the IMSA WeatherTech GTD class. What a weekend at the Brickyard for those guys. In LMP2, it's Mikel Jensen who'll guide the TDS Racing team home to victory. And all of the pairs of drivers and the teams, Cal, will get to kiss the bricks.
What a day. What a return of sports car action at the Brickyard. It didn't disappoint Lee. Wow, and how it sets up the championship, particularly in the top 2 classes. We're looking at 3 teams separated by just 5 points. That's nothing. There's 30 points between first and second alone at the end of the finale.